Good morning, afternoon, and evening, Pak Basit and friends. Let us present the result of our discussion entitled Time Series Analysis of Sea Surface Temperature in Indonesia. First, I will introduce the members of this group. I am Irma Yusianti and my friends Yon Ernest, Muhammad Pijar Putra, Ummi Fadilah, and Kinan Fadil. So, topics to be discussed include introduction, problem formulation and objectivize, theoretical foundation, material and methodology, result and discussion, and the last is conclusion.
Okay, the first is introduction. Indonesia is the largest archipelagic country in the world, which has a very wide sea or waters. These waters have different temperatures at any time, which are influenced by several factors, namely the presence of solar radiation, heat conduction from the atmosphere, and condensation of water vapor, which are closely related to the hydrological cycle that occurs on Earth. In the hydrological cycle, it begins with the evaporation of water caused by solar radiation. This evaporated water will become water vapor or water droplets that rise to the atmosphere. Water vapor in the atmosphere due to the evaporation process will be a capital of dynamics of the atmosphere in the formation of clouds and rain. The higher the heating will also increase the surface temperature of the waters. To become rain, the cloud must release the stored heat energy. This heat energy is often felt before the rain and causes the temperatures in the area to increase. Indonesia's astronomical position is at 6 degrees north latitude to 11 degrees south latitude and 95 degrees east longitude to 141 degrees east longitude also has an impact in the form of solar radiation throughout the year. To be able to know the dynamics of sea surface temperature in Indonesia, a time series of sea surface temperature or SST analysis was carried out.
Problem formulation and objective. First is about problem formulation. Our problem formulation in this mini project are: first, how is the dynamics of sea surface temperature in Indonesia? And the second is how to analyze sea surface temperature in Indonesia. And our objective on this mini project: first, to studying the acquisition of sea surface temperature information in the Indonesia region in time series. Second, to compare the sea surface temperatures in some regions of Indonesia from 2018 until 2021. And the third is to analyze changes in sea surface temperature in Indonesia from 2018 until 2021. Next is theoretical foundation. On this mini project, we use three theoretical foundation, which is: first, sea surface temperature. Sea surface temperature is defined as the interface temperature of the sea surface at the atmosphere. Fauci 2016. Two-thirds of the Earth is water that has dynamic property. So basically on this, we use remote sensing technology for sea surface temperature analysis. Monitoring these dynamic water areas takes a long time and costs a lot of money. With remote sensing, we can assist in monitoring marine water supported by real-time or in-situ data for validation and accuracy. In monitoring water quality, remote sensing has several advantages. Let's go in 11. Google Earth Engine for image processing. Cloud computing using Google Earth Engine makes data acquisition and processing faster and easier. Image data from remote sensing is quietly remembered according to the study area, processed as needed, and the processed result can be downloaded for future analysis purposes. With a much larger data size compared to conventional processing. Dewantor et al. 2021. The relationship between tide, sea surface temperature, sea surface salinity, and rainfall is visualized, analyzed, and extracted using the Google Earth Engine, which is enable the JavaScript programming language to work.
The next is tools and material. For the first is tools that are Google Earth Engine, Microsoft Word, PC, and ArcMap 10.6. And material is satellite image from Aquamodis. And the picture on site is Aquamodis specification mode.
The steps in the research that we carry out can be seen in the diagram. The first step is carried out starting from the study area, followed by collecting data until the required data is obtained. The data is then processed through the step of map layer configuration, panel setup, chart setup, agent setup, and map setup. Then we obtain a time series of sea surface temperature in Indonesia.
First is study area. Our study area in this mini project is visualized using geometry or polygon option in Google Earth Engine. As you can see at this slide, our boundary of area is rectangular shape that using geographic coordinate system, longitude or latitude, that actually we can say to boundary all of Indonesian seas.
Next, I will explain the step of the map layer configuration. After obtaining required data, we also compute the mean sea surface temperature value for each pixel by averaging Moody's Aqua data for 3 years, from 2019 to 2021. Visualization uses color in the order of black, white, dark green, green, pink, purple, blue, yellow, and red. The minimum value is 10 degrees Celsius starting in black to 30 degrees Celsius, which is marked in red. Then it is created in the mind map by setting the SST layer. Panel setup steps. Panel setup steps, which aims to regulate the labeling and component that will be included in the final result, consisting of 4 steps, namely as follows below. 1. Create a panel to hold the title, intro text, chart, and legend component. 2. Create an intro panel with labels. 3. Create a panels to hold longitude and latitude values. And 4. Add placeholder for the charts and legend. For chart setup. Chart setup steps. The main thing is to regulate the result of time series analysis temperature change from 2019 to 2021. The steps can be detailed as follows below. One can generate a new time series chart of SST for the given coordinates. 2. Update the longitude or latitude panel with values from the click event. And 3. Add dots for the point click on. 4. Add the dot as the second layer so it shows up on the top of the composite. 5. Make a chart from the time series. 6. Customize the charts. And 7. Add the charts at a fixed position so that your chart overrides older ones.
The next step is legend setup. 1. Creates a color bar thumbnail image for use in legend from the given color. 2. Define palette. 3. Create a color bar for the legend. 4. Create a panel with 3 numbers for the legend. And next step is map setup. 1. Register a callback on the default map to be invoked when the map is clicked. 2. Configure the map. 3. Initialize with a test point. And 4. Initialize the app.
Okay, then the result and discussion. Based on the result obtained, the change in the sea surface temperature from 2019 until 2021 shows that the temperature changed significantly. However, from February to April, the temperature at sea level tends to be stable. The increase in sea surface temperature has increased again over the last 2 years. Changes in sea surface temperature are evident in the waters of the Java Sea, Arafuru Sea, and southwest of the island of Sumatra. From August to October, there is a decrease in temperature in this area.
Now, I want to explain about the analysis of time series. The first about the distribution of the sample point. As can be seen on the screen, the sample point used are evenly distributed in Indonesian waters randomly. The position of first point is on southwest of Sumatra Island. The position of second point on west of the Kalimantan Island. The third point is on south of the Java Island. And the fourth point is on the north of the Java Island. The fifth point is on the west of Sulawesi Island. The sixth point on east of the Sulawesi Island. The seventh point is on the north of the NTT province. And the eighth point is on the south of the Sulawesi Island. And the ninth and 10th point are on the north of Papua Island. And then we can see on the screen are the graphic of the temperature from each point. There are 10 graphics. The red circle means the highest temperature, and the black circle means the minimum temperature. For the first point, the maximum temperature is 33 degrees Celsius on April 2020. The minimum temperature is 24 degrees Celsius on October 2020. For the second point, the maximum temperature is 33 degrees Celsius on April 2019. The minimum temperature is 26 degrees Celsius on January 2020. And for the third point, the maximum temperature is 34 degrees Celsius on April 2018. The minimum temperature is 24 degrees Celsius on July 2020. The fourth point, the maximum temperature is 33 degrees Celsius on January 2020. And the minimum point temperature is 26 degrees Celsius on October 2019. And for the fifth point, the maximum temperature is 33 degrees Celsius on April 2019, and the minimum temperature is 27 degrees Celsius on January 2020. And then for the sixth point, the maximum temperature is 33 degrees Celsius on April 2021. The minimum temperature is 26 degrees Celsius on October 2019. For the seventh point, the maximum temperature is 33 degrees Celsius on January 2021. The minimum temperature is 27 degrees Celsius on October 2019. And for the eighth point, the maximum temperature is 33 degrees Celsius on October 2020. The minimum temperature is 27 degrees Celsius in July 2020. And for the ninth point, the maximum temperature is 32 degrees Celsius on April 2020. And the minimum temperature is 26 degrees Celsius on July 2019. And the last, for the 10th point, the maximum temperature is 34 degrees Celsius on October 2019. And for the minimum temperature is 27 degrees Celsius on April 2020. From the graphic, we can get the conclusion. The highest temperature from sample point in April with average temperature at 33 degrees Celsius. Second, there are several areas that have high temperature at 0.4 and 0.7, which are in deep water of Indonesia, which occurred in January at a temperature of 33 degrees Celsius. The third, some of the highest temperature also occur in October at 0.8 and 0.10 with temperature of 33 degrees Celsius and 34 degrees Celsius. And the last conclusion is the lowest average temperature in October at 0.1467, in January at 0.2 and 5, in July at 0.3, 8 and 9, and lastly at 0.10 the lowest temperature occurs in April. And then let's talk about the factors that affect the temperature. There are three factors that affect the increase of temperature. The first is solar radiation. Solar radiation, often called the solar research or just sunlight, is a general term for electromagnetic radiation emitted by the sun. Solar radiation can be captured and turned into useful forms of energy, such as heat and electricity, using a variety of technologies. Second, heat conduction from the atmosphere. During the day, sunlight hits the ground, which in turn hits the air directly above it via conduction. At night, the ground cools, and the heat flows from the warmer air directly above to the cooler ground via conduction. The third, water vapor condensation. Condensation is process by which water vapor in the air is changed into a liquid water. Condensation is crucial to water cycle because it is responsible for the formation of cloud. This cloud may produce precipitation, which is the primary route for water to return to the Earth's surface within the water cycle. And then, there are three factors that affect to decrease the temperature. The first, the reflection of radiation from the ocean surface. The reflection is generally specular when the roughness of the surface is smaller than the wavelength used. In the solar spectrum, the reflection is therefore specular on smooth surface, such as a polished metal, still water, or mirror. Second, the reflection of heat conduction into atmosphere. The heat moves into the atmosphere the same way it moves through the solid earth or another medium. What follows a review of the way heat flows and is transferred, but applied to the atmosphere. In conduction, heat moves from areas of more heat to areas of less heat by direct contact. And the third, evaporation. Evaporation is the process by which water changes from a liquid to a gas vapor. Evaporation is the primary pathway that water moves from the liquid state back into the water cycle as atmospheric water vapor. Studies have shown that the ocean, seas, lakes, and rivers provide nearly 90% of the moisture in the atmosphere via evaporation, with the remaining 10% being contributed by plant transpiration.
And the last, what is the impact of change water temperature in Indonesia? With the average sea surface temperature continuing to rise, the obvious impact is sea level will be rise. When sea level is increasing and climate change is caused by warmer sea air, the impact will be more frequent extreme weather. Extreme weather will result in several possible disasters, just like floods, landslide, cyclone, and even dryness. In addition, warming sea air can cause sea waves to accumulate so that marine flora and fauna are on the verge of extinction. Warming sea air makes it easier for the air to evaporate more and more, so that the evaporated sea air collects and causes extreme rain to occur somewhere. When it rains in an extreme place, all the areas may not get rain, resulting in drought. Due to a general rule, drier areas will be drier and wetter areas will be wetter. Thank you very much for your listening. May all those we have shared be beneficial for all of us. To end our presentation, I would like to quote a saying from Marshall McLuhan that says, "There are no passengers on spaceship Earth. We are all crew. So, we have to take care of our Earth." And we would like to apologize if there is a mistake from us. And wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.